Welcome to the first lecture in this course. In this video, we're going to learn more about the training context, some of the forces, both inside and outside the organization, that influence things like training, development, and learning. One of the most influential characteristics of the modern training context is that the environment is constantly changing. In the 21st century, companies have to deal with all kinds of new challenges, everything from e-commerce to the effects of globalization to new knowledge, new technology, new information, all of the time. Because the environment is constantly changing, many companies are trying to figure out ways that they can stand out, that they can compete with other companies in their industry. One way companies can adapt to these changes is to invest in their human resources, in their people, and invest in the policies, procedures, and systems that influence employees' attitudes and behaviors in the workplace. Collectively, these policies, practices, procedures, systems, all of the above, are called human resource management. The HR department is typically responsible for numerous functions, everything from recruiting new employees to selecting those with the KSAOs that are required for the job, to measuring and improving performance through training and development. Now, it's important to note that training alone is not going to solve a company's problems. Training and development are just two of many solutions to a variety of different problems that different organizations may face. They can be beneficial, they can help a company gain a competitive advantage, but they are not always the answer, and they are rarely the only part of the broader solution. We recognize that most companies are in business to make money, to make a profit. Even nonprofit organizations need to make money. They usually do it by collecting donations, whereas a public company, for instance, sells a product or a service. For this reason, every business function is under some kind of pressure to prove, to show that it provides value and that it is helping the organization achieve its overall goals. Human resource managers are under similar pressures. They have to be able to show that training and development programs, for example, actually help the organization make money. And we do have evidence that training and development systems can influence the bottom line. They can have a direct effect on organizational performance and an indirect effect on profitability. Researchers have been studying training and development for decades. One of the things we know today to be true is that these systems are usually more effective when they are tied very closely to the organization's strategic plan, to its business strategy. This is a plan that integrates the company's goals, policies, and actions with its overarching mission and vision. If a company's training and development system is not tied strategically to the company's goals, then the training and development system is not going to have maximum impact. There are lost opportunities. The whole point of tying the two together is to ensure that training programs put on by the organization are helping employees learn the things they need to do to contribute to those goals and help make sure that the company makes a profit. Just as training can impact whether the business strategy is fully realized, the business strategy can also impact training and development in a number of different ways. A company's business strategy will have an impact on the relative importance of training compared to the other HRM functions, the number of resources that are devoted to the training system, the type and amount of training that occurs in the organization, the training development process, how the training is designed, whether an evaluation is used to improve it, whether a needs assessment was conducted prior to design. It can also impact the extent to which training is customized, specialized for the employees in a specific organization. Some training programs are very general and could be applied in just about any organization. Other training programs are customized specifically for that organization and that organization's employees. And finally, the business strategy can have an impact on who is invited to training. In some organizations, only the top executives are trained and allowed to participate in special development opportunities. In other organizations, every employee, regardless of status, regardless of tenure, is invited to participate in growth opportunities. All of these different factors will be impacted by the organization's business strategy, in part because the strategy is influenced by the company's values. Whatever the company values, whether it's making money, competing, being the best, being the most helpful, whatever the company values will find its way into the training and development system, just as it would find its way into the recruitment, selection, and performance management systems. Those values will be reflected in the training programs themselves. The best plan of action is to take note of those values, to take note of the business strategy, and then design the entire training and development system around that strategy, those values, the organization's culture. Throughout this module and throughout this class, we will learn more about how to make sure that your training and development system is strategic, is capable of contributing to the business goals. Because the relationship between an organization's training and development system and its business strategy is so strong and influential, there are a number of things that we want to do to ensure that we get the most out of our investment. As we develop a training program, we want to make sure that all of its elements are tied back to that strategy, are aligned with the goals of the strategy. This involves everything from the training and development system goals to the specific learning objectives of a training program. Learning goals in general need to be supportive of what the organization is trying to accomplish. It is also crucial that we measure learning and evaluate our programs. It isn't enough for us to design an awesome training program. Remember, we also have to prove that our trainees actually learned something and that something they learned is useful and valuable to the organization. The best training organizations also include all of their stakeholders in the training and development system. They invite their customers, vendors, and suppliers to participate in learning. Most training and development systems focus on knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics that help employees do their jobs. The best training organizations focus on KSAOs and on developing competencies. Competencies are more general, they are broader. They include more behaviors than your typical KSAO. By focusing on competencies, we can develop our employees so that they can do their jobs today and do their jobs in the future when things change 5, 10, 15 years down the road. It is also important for the training and development function to be integrated with the other HRM functions. The recruitment system, the selection system, the performance management system should be tied together. They should also be tied to the training and development system. We also know that it is important to use multiple methods in the development process. We should use multiple methods when we collect information in the needs assessment process. We should rely on multiple methods of training delivery, and we should use multiple methods to evaluate our training programs. And finally, the best training organizations often invest heavily in leadership development and succession planning. By doing this, they attract and retain the best employees, and they are also able to better plan for future human resource needs. We call this human resource planning. Collectively, all of these characteristics of a strategic training and development system give you a much better idea of what it might be like to work in an organization that highly values training. By implementing these strategies, we can enhance an existing training and development system. We don't have to start from scratch. We can make changes to a current system and make it more effective, more valuable to the entire organization.